Hey guys, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Thanks, let's begin. Munching maniacs of the icky undead ilk. Zombie. This is the 1979 horror thriller from director Lucio Fulci. It was undoubtedly made to cash in on Dawn of the Dead, which in Italy was known as Zombie, so they called this Zombie 2, though my favorite title for this film is Zombie Flesh Eaters. Rolls right off the tongue. Happy birthday, Lucio Fulci, or Lucio Fulci. I like it to call him Lucio Fulci because it's what it sounds like to me, and what sounds the coolest. So there. The plot. They eat everything in their path. Marching towards the inhabitants of a tropical island, they make their way through the jungle, consuming everything they can. It's up to a doctor, his colleague, and a staff, as well as a group who are searching for one of the doctors, to stop and hopefully survive this onslaught. But is it already too late?
I wouldn't be able to cut my way through tissue paper with that, let alone carry out an autopsy. Take better care of your instruments, James.
Yes, Doctor.
I don't know what it is about it, but I love that setup. Zombies on an island. It probably has something to do with this being the first Italian zombie film I ever saw, so I don't know. It's awesome, though. I was probably around 15, 16 years old, and an avid gorehound. I loved the Romero films, and I remember stopping at a Christmas tree shop. Yes, that used to be a thing when I was a kid, and it recently went out of business. But they used to have DVDs of zombie films, such as 1978's Dawn of the Dead, Land of the Dead, City of the Living Dead, a whole bunch of movies. All these Italian, gory horror films in this nice little Christmas tree shop. It was hilarious. It wasn't at the time because I was so stoked to find them, but thinking back on it, I'm like, damn, they had some stuff. I didn't watch City of the Living Dead in its entirety at first. Actually, I remember my dad watching it first at a party. I had left it on by accident, and he said that was one of the most disturbing films that he had ever seen. Way to go, Fulci! But since I didn't see City of the Living Dead first, or at that time, when I went to FYE and picked up Zombie Flesh Eaters from the Streak Show DVD back in the day, I watched it. I watched the hell out of it. It was everything I hoped it would be. I had seen Godzilla films prior, so I was used to the dubbing. But it was a different kind of dubbing. Seeing non-Asian people being dubbed over was an interesting experience, to say the least, but I dug it. This film is Fulci's most easy and approachable to newcomers, as far as I'm concerned. It has a narrative structure and flows at a decent pace. It doesn't have anything too dreamy or out there. It's just it's a straightforward story. Most of the other of his undead films are like a lucid nightmare. It's like the perfect gateway, and even though it is just that, a gateway, it's one of my favorites of his. Most fans of Fulci gravitate towards the beyond, which is amazing in its own right. But I'm a zombie guy. Zombie guy. Zombie flesh eaters guy. You can't change that! The jungle setting is atmospheric. Every time the zombie horde is on screen shambling about, there are gusts of wind to accompany them. Spooky. It's highly effective. The cinematography is also fabulously done. It's a very moody film despite all the lush environment. You feel alone and isolated just like the characters. Speaking of the characters, we have Peter West, played by Ian McKellen, who was in Zombie Holocaust, which I recently watched. I loved it. He was also in 1975's The Ghoul, which had a novelization by Guy and Smith, Shout out to that, as well as 1980's Contamination, another Italian horror film, kind of ripping off Alien in a way, based on the eggs alone. That's the sound they make. You're welcome. Anyway, Mr. West is doing a report on this whole boat in the harbor incident. And he's a reporter, obviously, and he is going out there with the captain of the boat's daughter. Side note, that scene with the New York harbor, not only is it great stuff, but there's a shot where a boat nearly hits the main boat. Like a massive cruiser's going by, and this little boat they have for the film is right in the middle of it. It's honking its horn, it's blowing its horn, and it's like, get the hell out of the way. I don't think they intended it for that, but they kept it because it looks cool. Oh yeah. If I were to figure, that would have been the last shot they shot with the boat, because, you know, if it did get destroyed, they wouldn't have another one. Anyway, like I said, he gets acquainted with the captain's daughter, Anne Bowles, played by Tisa Farrow from Anthropophagus and The Last Haunter. Hunter, not Haunter. I don't know why I said that. You know what I mean? Together, they investigate the island of Matu. Anne wants to find her father, whom she had lost contact with recently. Brian Hull, played by Al Cliver from White Cannibal Queen, 2020 Texas Gladiators, and Endgame, is the captain of the charter boat that takes them out. Him and his wife, girlfriend, Susan Barrett, played by Aruda Gay, go on this journey on the island with them. Big mistake. Dr. Menard, played by Richard Johnson, from 1963's The Haunting, 1974's Beyond the Door, and Island of the Fishmen, is the last living doctor on the island. The nurse is afraid his assistant is asking questions. The idea of voodoo magic bringing back the dead is brought up more than a virus of sorts. It seems to be the only logical explanation. There's also no cure. There's also the doctor's wife, who is famous for two scenes. One scene alone is enough to go down in history as one of the most shockingly disturbing deaths in a zombie film. If you've seen the film, you know the one. The movie starts out with an investigation, but it never bores. Its pacing is pretty quick, and its 90-minute runtime just flies by. It never feels unwarranted. It sucks you into the world, grabs hold, and then rips your flesh. I'm just kidding, it doesn't do that. I love the scenes with the doctor and his assistant trying to come to terms with what's going on, going to great lengths to disprove the theory that it's voodoo. It's a little hard with this one. It's not only shocking, but it's perfect. And it's not the kind of gut punch ending you're thinking of. I loved it. In fact, I would go out as far as to say this is my favorite 1970s zombie film. Yeah.
I'm going to tell everyone that you're the one who's crazy.
For the gore, the effects, this being a Fulci effort, it's a pretty nasty affair. The nasty ghouls makeup is the best of the 1970s zombie films. They look like rotted or sickly corpses, much like they should. No blue paint. The one featured on all the posters is a highlight. It's in fact such a highlight, I got this bust of it, which I've never opened. Shall I take a peek? It's a little stand guy. It's got a really cool box that I want to try to be careful with. It's alive! It's alive! I don't have a knife! I didn't expect to do an unboxing in this video, but here we are. You know what? Screw you, styrofoam! Ooh, you're a feisty one. Let's look like he's rising from a styrofoam grave. Oh my god, that's awesome! Woo! I haven't opened, so seeing this for the first time. Oh my god. Look at that shit. And on the back, on the bottom, it says, "We are going to eat you," which is the tagline. Oh my god, that thing is amazing. You're so cute with all your worms in your eye. Oh, so adorable. You kissed the rotted flesh! Now you want more. Zombie fights a shark underwater, which is awesome. It's no visual effects. It's all there on camera. I'm not sure if the shark is dead, but if it is, hot damn. They still made an amazing scene out of it. There's gnarly throat rips with gushing blood. Flesh is torn from the bone. A shard of wood is slowly pierced through one's eye and exploded into crushed heads. The movie doesn't mess around. Hell, it's Italy. They don't fuck around there. Oh yeah, no stage blood like in Dawn of the Dead. This is all the red, crimson, dark blood. That looks a lot better. The effects are, of course, all practically done. Gennaro Di Rossi, who worked on House by the Cemetery Raiders of Atlantis and Killer Crocodile, and Giovanni Corridori, who worked on Tenebrae, Blade in the Dark, and Opera, brought their collective forces together to make one hell of a gruesome picture. For the motion picture soundtrack, I've owned a few copies of this on CD, but I like this one's cover the most. The track order isn't my favorite. It's this one. Really great stuff by Fabio Farizzi. I always wanted the score to start with the main theme when I go to listen to it, but it always has that jungle vacation song, whatever it is, which is alright. It is in the movie, but it's not quite what I have in mind when watching Zombie, or listening to it in this case. The music was done by Fabio Farizzi, who did music for the international version of Pieces, and has worked on other films like Blast Fighter, Monsterfish, and even some to this day like House of Forbidden Secrets and Puppet Master The Littlest Reich, as well as Castle Freak the remake. He's a legend in Italian musical composing. The atmosphere he creates in his music is next level. He also worked on The Beyond and A City of the Living Dead. The tribal beats are a nice touch, and the driving synth theme, beautiful. Perfect. Badass. Everything about the music in this film just puts you in the mood to watch the film again. Overall, I could talk ad nauseum about this movie. I probably already have. I've loved it for years. While Fulci's other work is great, this is probably my favorite. Right here. There's a whole other palette of films I would like to talk to you about from Italy. So, let's do that. Let's go into a new segment on this channel. Pasta film, or pasta film. It's the best I could come up with. Spaghetti westerns have their thing. Pasta film. Pasta film. It works! Come on, don't tell me it doesn't. I'll cover horror, action, crime, thriller, but spaghetti westerns will stay in the Old West files. Stay tuned. That's going to do it for this video, guys. You've been watching Sharkass Entertainment, and I have been your host, Brian Gatto. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon. Also hit that notification bell to be notified every time I make a new video, and as always, subscribe. Yes? I gave you a kiss.